Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Real or Real podcast. Yay! This is a podcast where we like to tell each other stories about weird stuff that happens. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's the fictional storyline to some weird property somewhere. And it's up to you, as the guest, to figure out which one it is. My name is Bone Dragon, and joining me, as always,
Pyxie Dustin!
Yay!
Yay!
Everybody loves Pyxie.
No.
Everybody hates Boney.
No.
Anyway. So, Pyxie, you have a story for us today.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Do we have any crap, what are they called? My brain is not working right now.
I know those things.
Trigger warnings. Do you have any? Are there
warnings.
any trigger warnings for this?
Content warnings. Trigger warnings.
Are there any trigger warnings? Content
yes.
warnings for this story?
Yes.
Okay.
Murder. Cannibalism.
Ooh.
Possible psychopath.
Okay.
And the 2002 movie Queen of the Damned. Because that could be triggering for some people.
I know it's triggering for me.
You know, I didn't care for the movie, but that movie has one of the best soundtracks.
Oh, I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack was amazing.
Amazing.
But yeah, that movie was straight ass.
I mean, it wasn't horrible.
Yes, it was.
But if you were actually an Anne Rice fan at the time, it was horrible.
Yes, exactly.
But for an early 2000s just movie, like if you didn't know anything about the Vampire Chronicles, a standalone, it was not terrible, horrible.
Yeah, but I could say the same thing about the Michael Bay Transformers movies. If you didn't know anything about Transformers, you could walk into those movies and go, that's okay. But I'm sorry. When you have a movie that's geared towards a specific fan base and you don't play to that fan base, there's something wrong with you.
Well, I think over the years we've seen that whether you do play to the fan base or you don't play to the fan base, they're just not going to be happy with it either way. So I think that's why a lot of directors are like, whatever.
I fully agree with you because I loved the first Silent Hill movie. The second Silent Hill movie was absolute garbage. This newest one, I didn't think was too bad. But I know a lot of people that were like, oh, it's so terrible. I'm like, it's not that bad.
No, it was okay. I have thoughts on it, but that's neither here nor there. The best part of the Transformers movie, though, was the little dog with the broken leg.
The little dog with the broken... Oh.
His name was Mojo?
Why am I not surprised that you thought that the best part of the Transformers movie was the little dog?
Yeah, with the cast on. He was so cute.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
I don't remember if that was in the first one or the second one. Or,
no, that was the first one. Yeah.
It had to have been one of the early ones because I stopped watching after the second one.
Yeah.
I didn't watch any more of the Transformers movies. But anyway...
Need to show you the good one. Of course, I don't think you'd like the good one. Yeah, the 1984
the animated one.
Animated one. Yes.
Anyway, you know how I can't get into the animated ones. Like I'm struggling along with X-Men 97 just because I really do like the story.
No, I get it.
I'm just, and that's not to say I'm not a fan of animation, but like I don't know. It's just that style of animation, that type of animation.
No, I get it.
Like big, heavy stories that are animated. Action.
I
don't know.
It's when it comes to Transformers, the 1984 movie is all nostalgia for me. You know, it's how did I feel when I was 6 years old watching this thing? And that's how most of the fans are. Most of the Transformers that I have that I'm looking at my desk right now, they're all the G1s, you know, and I couldn't care less about any of the rest of them. But so I wear the nostalgia glasses whenever I watch those movies. And if I look at them from a third party perspective who doesn't have that nostalgia, oh my God, they're not very good. But, you know, just my brain just wants to relive those things over and over again. And it's the same thing with X-Men 97. X-Men 97 is great. I love it to death, you know, but there's a whole lot to it that I just I can't help but cringe over because of the fact that all the nostalgia to it, you know.
Well, I think that's the general consensus for most things that were made in the 80s and 90s.
This is true.
But, you know.
This is very much true.
Here we are.
Yeah. Anyway, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our story.
Let me tell you a story.
Pyxie.
Yes.
I heard from a little bird named Top that you have something to tell me about.
Top's a dog.
Yes. Top is our talking dog.
Okay.
You're the one that makes him talk.
We don't say that part out loud.
Why? Because it makes you sound insane?
Just a little, yes.
Well, I mean, there's also the fact that me and the kid jump in on it too. So I think it's cute.
Anywho.
Anyway, I'm going to cut all this. So
no, it's fine. You can leave it in. So we are, for today's story, going to travel back to the 90s, the 1990s. I keep forgetting I have to do the 19 because we do talk about the 1890s and, 1790s.
We got to get the X-Men back to the 1990s.
Yes. So it's when they were at the height of their power. All right. So we are traveling back to the 1990s in Scotland.
Ooh.
Specifically, and I'm probably going to butcher this, but specifically, Fald House in West Lothian.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where that is in Scotland, but that's where our story tonight takes place.
All right. So we are in Scotland in some place in a house. I'm not even going to try.
Possibly. But we have these two friends, these two young boys, Alan Menzies and...
Wait. Are you serious?
Alan Menzies? Have you heard this before?
No. But his
sure?
last name is Menzies.
Menzies, yes.
Is it that time?
I think that's how it's pronounced. It's Menzies.
Yeah, Menzies.
Menzies.
Okay.
Alan Menzies.
Oh,
and
okay.
he's really good friends, possibly even best friends, with a lad named Thomas McKendrick.
Thomas McKendrick. I can't think of any jokes to go along with that one.
Well, that's a better surname. Very, very strong Scottish name. McKendrick.
Oh, right. Of course.
Same with a Mick, Mix and Max and anywho. This has already gone off the rails and I haven't even begun.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
no.
sorry. Let me put the train back on the rails. There we go.
And now Crazy Train is stuck in my head.
Going off
Okay.
the rails on a crazy train.
Okay. Now we shall continue and try to avoid copyright claims. So Alan and Thomas are friends.
Okay.
Okay. They hang out. They do typical 1990s boy things in Scotland. They go to school together. They hang out after school. They hang out on the weekends. You know, they're friends, or I guess mates, whatever. Is that what they call it there?
Sure.
Okay. So
we'll go with that.
So they're friends. All right. Well, Thomas seems to be a decent, nice boy, kind of quiet, doesn't cause any trouble, you know, not really getting into anything. But Alan, on the other hand, seems to have some issues. Around the time of him being, I want to say, 14, he stabbed somebody at school.
Oh, wow.
And attacked a family member with a knife.
Oh, wow.
So he seems to have, you know, some underlying anger issues here.
I don't know what it is about people named Alan and being, you know, assholes, but, you know. I
don't think I know anybody named Alan.
Yes, you do.
Oh, well, other than that, oh my gosh.
For those of you who don't know, I have an uncle named Al, and he is very much a.
Is he Alan, though? I thought maybe he's Albert.
No, he's an Alan. No, he's Alan.
Or Aloysius.
Oh, he wishes.
there's all kinds of Al names.
Yeah. No, he's an Alan.
So anyway, he got in trouble for that. I'm assuming it wasn't a whole lot of trouble, but then not too long after that, he got sentenced to 3 years detention for assaulting a 13-year-old boy. And apparently this time it caused severe injury. This was in 1996.
Okay.
So this has given us, you know, a picture of what Alan was like. He's clearly had a little bit of a troubled youth, getting into more than just lighthearted.
Dude's got some issues.
Boy activities, you know.
Right.
A little bit more than, you know, just the whole stupid adage of boys being boys. He's getting into a little bit more trouble than he should be.
Okay.
So we progress on. They continue to stay friends and matriculate, because that's what they call it over there. They don't graduate high school. They matriculate, and then they either go find a job, don't go find a job, or go to university.
Okay.
So Alan gets a job as a security guard.
Oh, geez. Why is it always why is it always that guy that gets a job as a security guard? Either security guard or police officer.
Exactly. I'm not sure how big this town is. So I'm thinking maybe, you know, police officer wasn't an option.
Okay.
Because, you know, if they're in like a smallish town, they've got their quota of police force, you know, and it's one of those things where you have to wait for somebody to die for a new person to come in and take their position. So I'm assuming
is it
that might be why he went towards security guard.
Isn't that usually how it is whenever, you know, there's a job worth having? You got to wait for somebody to die to get it.
Yeah, typically. Typically. He's working his job as a security guard. Thomas is doing his thing. I'm not sure if he went on to university after school or if he, you know, just went on to various employment or whatever. Okay. But he's So, but this is where we're at now, and this is so we've come to like early 2002.
Okay.
And at this point, Alan sees a movie that changes his life.
Oh, dear.
Do you know what movie that was?
Oh, I know what it was. I know exactly which movie it was. We all know what movie it was in 2002 that he saw Men in Black 2.
Absolutely. That was it. That was
okay.
And you know why it made such impact on him?
It was either Men in Black 2
because
or
it had a dog.
Yeah, exactly. That pug. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That had to do with it. It was either that or it was that the second Austin Powers movie, Goldmember.
Goldmember?
Mm. Yeah. Had to be Goldmember. Those were the movies that paved the way for his life for the rest of his existence.
The movie he became absolutely obsessed with was Queen of the Damned.
Oh, geez.
Now, for those of you who have not had the pleasure of viewing Queen of the Damned, I recommend just listening to the soundtrack and skipping watching the movie.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Or go read the book.
Well, the movie is very loosely based on the book The Vampire Lestat and the book Queen of the Damned.
Yeah.
It kind of shoved those two stories together to try to make Queen of the Damned in a very unsuccessful way that doesn't really stick to the actual story the way it should. So like I said before, it's not a horrible movie, but it's not a great movie. And in essence, what the movie is about is there is a vampire named Lestat. Most people are familiar with the Vampire Lestat. He is from the Vampire. Yeah, he's from the Vampire Chronicles, from Interview with the Vampire. The new series is out.
Oh, yeah. Go watch that new series.
Yeah, with Interview with the Vampire and Vampire Lestat. But the point of Queen of the Damned is basically you see Lestat becoming this big rock star, which for vampires is not a good thing because they need to kind of fly under the radar, be kind of, no pun intended, keep to the shadows, not be putting themselves out there as a spectacle. And he comes right out and tells people that he's a vampire, knowing that nobody's going to believe him. And so Akasha, who is
the queen,
the namesake of the book, the Queen of the Damned, the vampire queen, she is said to be the first vampire, the very first vampire. I can't remember the very first male vampire, but they were together as a couple. And without giving away too much, in case you do want to read the books, watch the movie, whatever, she has been in a state of
she's basically been asleep.
Hibernation.
Yeah.
She's been in a state of hibernation for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years because she is just older than time itself. And the music of Lestat wakes her up, and they get together and things happen. And there's also a sideline of this mortal that falls in love with Lestat, and yeah.
Oh, don't give me.
But anyway,
sorry.
The basis of the movie is it's about vampires, and Akasha is supposed to be the most powerful vampire ever. She's like, the big bad. And she's also very beautiful and very sensual, and just the kind of person that, like, if you're into someone presenting as a female and would have a crush on a vampire, she'd be the one.
Yeah.
So Alan watches this movie, becomes completely obsessed with this movie.
Oh, dear God. We're going to have a Rod Ferrell situation, aren't we?
And becomes completely obsessed with the character Akasha.
Oh, yeah. Rod Ferrell. Okay.
Now, Akasha in this movie was played by singer-songwriter actress Aaliyah. This was her last role on screen.
Rip.
In fact, as she was in the middle of filming this, she passed away.
Yes.
So he bought into the idea that Aaliyah didn't really pass away. And Aaliyah herself, being a musical star, was in fact actually Akasha. They were one and the same, and Aaliyah was a vampire. So his mind was completely convinced that Aaliyah / Akasha was a real person and was a real vampire.
Jesus.
And
Okay.
that vampires were 100% real. And he was
somebody's taking them
obsessed with her.
Somebody's taking the masquerade to the next level, is what you're saying.
Is that card game?
The role-playing game, yes.
Okay, I don't know anything about that, but yes.
That's actually surprising. I'm actually surprised that you don't know about Vampire the Masquerade.
I've heard things here and there about Vampire the Masquerade, but it's not something that I ever got into personally or knew anyone else that did.
Okay.
I've never, my entire young adulthood, I've not had any friends who were obsessed with vampires or into stuff like that. Is it kind of like Vampire D&D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except it's more role play and less rolling the dice type stuff.
See, the people that I used to hang out with when I was like a very young adult, they were into playing Magic. And I've known some people into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! But I've never had friends that were D&D players or any of those type of games.
Yeah, I mean, the main difference is that, Vampire the Masquerade is a much more LARPing type thing where you dress up your character, everybody all gets together, and you literally play as your character to do this whole thing. Now, there are point systems to this, that, and the other, but that all takes like a backseat to the theatrics of it. Whereas with D&D, it's a bunch of people sitting around a table rolling dice. Nothing against D&D. I actually prefer playing D&D because, that way there's an actual gameplay system here. But with the Masquerade and all the various spin-off games that they came up with, it's all very much a role-playing forward type deal.
Oh, okay. Well, that I would not be interested in because I don't like to socialize that much. I wouldn't be comfortable doing something like that, which is probably why I've never gotten into it.
Which is why I am a proud member of the clan Bruja, and everybody else can suck my ass. But you will never, ever see me actually playing that game with anyone just because of the fact that, I don't like people.
Well, for me, I don't think it's so much that I don't like people. It's just that I don't know.
It's exhausting.
I don't feel like there's ever any time that I could be that committed to being a character.
Yeah.
For extended amounts of time like that. Like working at a haunted attraction, it's a limited run. You commit to the character for 2 or 3 days a week for a month and a half, and then it's over.
And not only
like
that,
with the stage production, you know how long the run is. That to me I don't think I could make that kind of commitment to like one character. It would be like how Hugh Jackman just kind of, got smushed into you're Wolverine, you're always Wolverine, and that's who you're always going to be is Wolverine. Yeah, you can do these other projects. Yeah, you can do all these other projects, but anytime we need Wolverine, we need you to come back and be Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't think I could do that. It would get boring to me. It would get repetitive. I wouldn't want to be that one same character.
Well, I mean, like with
every time I played.
With haunt acting, stage acting, and playing D&D and whatnot, you could take breaks from that in the middle of it. Whenever you're not on stage or whenever you're not performing in front of guests or whatever, you could take a second to just kind of sit back and chill and let your gut hang out, Whereas with LARPing like this or playing games of this nature, you have to be that character.
Yeah,
the entire time that you're there.
Yeah. I don't know. That would be exhausting to me.
Yes.
But anyway, circling back. So Alan has become completely obsessed with the movie The Queen of the Dam, and in particular, the character of Akasha. So he gets to the point where he has watched this movie more than 100 times.
Wow. More than, geez.
So much so that this movie has consumed his entire being. I don't know if he quit his job or he was fired from his job, but he is now an unemployed security guard.
I don't think that, I'm that obsessed with the Transformers movie. I don't think I've seen it 100 times and quit my job because I thought that Optimus Prime was really out there.
Can you imagine that, though, being friends with somebody who's obsessed with the movie that much and that's all they want to do is watch the movie? And then they're like, oh, hey, come over and hang out. Well, I don't know if I want to because we're just going to be watching Queen of the Damned again because that's all you do.
Let's watch Lord of the Rings again.
The extended editions, back to back. Do it.
Now, I have a spot in my heart for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but I don't love it that much.
Round about early December of 2002, Alan goes over to Thomas's house to hang out with him.
Okay. As friends do.
As friends do. I guess he took a break from watching the movie. Who knows? Maybe he brought it with him and didn't expect it to watch it there.
You have to watch this movie.
I would say that's probably what happened. So they got into a little bit of a tiff over Alan's obsession with the movie.
You mean someone was actually telling him, hey, man, you need to chill.
And Thomas insulted Akasha.
Oh, no. How could you?
Well, he probably should have done that because at that point, it enraged Alan so much that he struck him with a hammer at least 10 times.
Oh, Jesus.
And then stabbed him with a knife 42 times.
I thought we were supposed to be going lighthearted this season.
I told you this one was about murder. Murder.
I guess we're never getting away from that, are we?
Probably not. Crimes
Yeah.
are bad, whether they're lighthearted or not. They're just all
Especially
bad.
the stupid ones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was a stupid one because this was a stupid reason for somebody to die. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
Come on. So once he had attacked Thomas and bludgeoned him and stabbed him, he decided at this point he might as well drink some of his blood.
Oh, for God's sake.
And eat a portion of his head.
What?
Yes. Because everybody knows that's how you become a vampire.
What portion?
It's part of his skull.
Which head?
The one on his shoulders.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not that kind of story.
Well, I mean, you never know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm.
So he did this so that he could turn into a vampire, so he could become a vampire himself, which I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure in any iteration I've ever seen about vampirism, whether it's Strigoi or sparkly vampires or Anne Rice vampires, you don't become a vampire just by killing a random person and drinking their blood.
No, every way that I've ever heard that you become a vampire is the vampire, or either the vampire bites you and you survive and eventually become a vampire, or you are invited by the vampire to drink their blood.
Right.
Some kind of variation of that.
Or they bite you and then give you their blood, something.
Right.
And there's also, I've never ever heard of anything like a gang initiation where you have to kill somebody to be turned into a vampire.
No, I've heard of gang initiations where you had to kill somebody. Of course, I think that was all hyperbole, but
But also, we'll get to that because that plays into his reasoning for why he killed Thomas.
Oh, for God's sake! Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I blame the video games.
Sure. Okay.
I blame the comic books.
All right, Grandpa.
I blame the movies.
So, after he has committed this horrible, violent act and finished it up with the drinking of the blood and the light cannibalism, he decides the best action is to stuff his body into, I think over there they call them wheelie bins. In this country, most people call them garbage cans or trash cans. The ones with the
outside trash can, right,
and the little wheels on the bottom that you can push down the driveway.
Okay.
Yeah. He puts him in one of those and lets him sit there for a couple days in that while he's cleaning up the house. So I'm assuming at this point, Thomas is living on his own, not with his parents or not with a roommate or anything, because, somebody else would have figured out, hey,
where the hell's Tom?
Where's Thomas has gone? Or at the very least, come back and caught Alan cleaning up this mess.
Right.
So he puts him in the wheelie bin. I'm not sure why. I think he thought at first he was just going to put him in there and then push him out with the rubbish, and he'd be picked up on trash day.
Somebody threw away a perfectly good white man.
Yeah, exactly. That. And I think he, once he was thinking a little bit clearer, which I don't know, that's a thing that ever happens with this guy. But once he had a chance to think about it for a bit, he figured, okay, this is probably not the best idea to just push him out to the curb and let the trash man come pick him up. So he takes him.
Wait. You think that he thinks?
Well, like I said, I don't think that there's a point where he can think clearer, but
okay.
Yeah, there's that. So he decides that he is going to push the body in the wheelie bin into a nearby wooded area and bury him in a shallow grave.
Because this is the absolute best plan in the world. I'm 100% behind this.
Absolutely.
You could totally get away with murder with that.
Successful.
Nobody's ever done that before.
And so the police found Thomas there just a couple weeks later.
No. What?
Buried in that shallow grave.
How?
And of course, Alan was arrested for the crime. I'm not sure how they figured out it was him.
Well, when you live in a town of 5.
Yeah, I think this is a smaller town, so is probably, it was probably a thing where they interviewed a few people and everybody said, you need to talk to Alan because, there's something wrong with that kid.
Yeah, I'd say that's
and they're friends
that you're not going to get away with.
Yeah, and they're friends, so you need to go talk to that kid. So that's probably what happened.
All right.
So a year later, not quite a year later, it's like October of 2003. So it's the next year.
Okay.
And he has been, he denied that it was a murder. And
he's been, wait. Thomas was bludgeoned over the head 10 times and then stabbed multiple times.
Yes.
And it wasn't an intentional murder.
It wasn't murder at all.
So in other words, he slipped, fell on 10 different hammers.
Yes, absolutely.
And then
he's not saying he didn't do it. He's saying what he did wasn't murder. This is what he said. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to have to hear this argument.
So he's pleading not guilty. He never said this, but his lawyers tried to do a plea of insanity, but he never agreed to being
things to pull off.
He never agreed to being insane. But these are the reasons he gave for what happened that evening.
Okay, hang on. I got to take my jacket off because this is going to be all kinds of weird. Hang on 1 second. Let me get ready for this because I'm going to get heated. All right, let's do this. All right, I want to hear these excuses for why him killing his friend is not murder.
According to Alan Menzies, who was 22 at the time.
Alan Menzies.
So, they're very young adults. But according to him, what happened was he got angry that Thomas insulted Akasha. He claimed that Akasha herself, in the form of Aaliyah, had appeared to him and instructed him to kill so he would gain immortality.
And yet he said that he's not insane.
He claims that she told him that if he carried out this killing, he would become a vampire in the next life. That was a direct quote from him, in the next life. And that he knew that he was going to have to kill someone.
She's going to make me her proxy.
His quote was, "At the end of the day, I knew I would have to murder somebody anyway. It was the only way you could do it. If you don't murder somebody, you couldn't become a vampire." Sitting in court, he told them that he is convinced that he is now a vampire and he became immortal after the killing. And then, so it wasn't murder because it was a sacrifice of Thomas's life in order for Alan to become a vampire. Once again, not how you become a vampire.
That's, as we've established, that is not how you become a vampire. And also, when you sacrifice someone, you are murdering them.
Well, I think it's interesting that he claimed that it wasn't murder. It wasn't murder. It wasn't murder. And then in that direct quote from him in court, he says murder. If you
Your
don't
Honor.
murder somebody, you couldn't become a vampire.
Your Honor, I didn't murder him. I only killed him. That's all. I mean, the long and short of it is, how can you say that I murdered somebody when I very obviously killed him? Makes sense to me.
Absolutely. So the court decided that he should see not one, not two, but 3 psychologists separately
Wow. All right.
to determine whether or not he was indeed able to do a plea of insanity.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
The 3 psychologists came back with a unanimous diagnosis of him being a psychopath.
That honestly does make sense. I'll accept that. Okay.
Which cannot be used as a plea of insanity.
Wait.
He's
It
not
cannot?
insane. No, he's not insane. He suffers from a severe personality disorder
Psychopathy.
and is a psychopath.
Okay. All right. Well,
So he can't use that as a plea.
I think the difference between psychopathy and insanity is that with psychopathy, you know what is right and wrong. And with insanity, you wouldn't be able to tell in the legal sense. As far as it comes to pleading insanity, I think I'm not a lawyer, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that the difference is as long as you know that what you did was wrong on some level, then you can't really plead insanity. Of course, I don't know how Scotland is.
Well, his sentence was life in prison. That's what he got.
All right.
And then we have a quote from his mother. Or no, wait. We have a quote from Thomas's mother, the victim.
Okay.
And she says that they're pleased with the verdict. And Thomas's sister, her quote was, "He got what he deserved."
I'd
So
say
the family seems to be okay with the High Court of Edinburgh sentence him to life with a minimum of 18 years before the possibility of a parole.
okay. Well, I mean, if it was me, I'd really take back that parole thing, but
Because
whatever.
the judge says, well, the reason why they did a minimum of 18 years is so he can't try to seek parole before then.
Okay.
Which this was 2003, so it's already been 18 years. I don't know of any updates on this, but the presiding judge in the case was Lord MacDonald, and he called him an evil, violent, and highly dangerous man who is not fit to be at liberty.
I agree with that. So in
But
other
I
words,
assume that means he's not fit to be out around the general population.
right. So I'm thinking that the way you explained it is very much a Charles Manson type situation where
Oh, I do
he
have
can
an
come
update.
up. He can come up for parole at some point, but there's probably no way in hell he's ever going to get it.
Exactly. But they
Okay.
put the 18-year minimum just to make sure that, there was no overturning the case. There was no possibility of he's at least going to be in there for 18 years.
Okay.
But the update, though, about a year into his sentence, he decided he wasn't immortal after all, and shuffled off this mortal coil
No.
by way of his own hand.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
After only a year?
Yeah. A year into his sentence.
Oh, wow. I wonder if it was just that moment of clarity or if he realized that he's not as badass as he thought that he was.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if it wasn't that he's always had issues that needed to have been dealt with his entire life. Like he needed to be going to a psychologist his entire life. He possibly needed to be medicated. You know, I don't know what the stigma around mental health is in Scotland. I know it's gotten a lot better in the United States about not being such a stigmatized thing and people understanding, you know, that for your overall health, mental health is an important thing as well. And I wonder if he just went undiagnosed his entire life. And then once he finally got into the prison system, he was getting the treatment and medication that he needed.
It suddenly set him straight and he realized what he had done.
The overwhelming guilt, he couldn't handle it.
I'm kind of wondering about that myself because I know I've made a couple references to Rod Ferrell, a couple times, which those of you who don't know, Rod Ferrell is very much this vampire type situation where he created a vampire quote unquote clan of people who actually killed people. They murdered people. And of course, they all went to jail for it, and Rod Ferrell, for like the longest time, he was being a huge, pardon my language, he was being a huge edgelord about the whole thing. And, at some point, as soon as he grew up to a certain age, he suddenly was like, oh my God, what did I do? And, at this point, he's like, trying his best to make up for it and whatnot. So that sounds like that kind of situation.
Yeah, it's really easy to make fun of people that get obsessed with things like vampirism, and it progresses to the point of doing illegal things.
Yeah,
to the point of taking someone else's life. But the reality of it is, it's never a joke when you've got somebody who truly does need some type of
they need help,
assistance for a mental disorder.
Right.
All right, so that's about where we're going to end with that. And now, Bone Dragon, it is up to you to tell me, is that real with an A, something that really, really happened, or real with an E, something that was fictional, like a TV series or a movie or a book or some such? What do you think?
We all know that I have no faith in humanity. We all know this. It is a very apparent thing in my cynicism that I do not think that people are smart enough to be able to think to themselves, I really shouldn't do this. So I'm thinking that this is going to be an A because it is too stupid to be an E.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, guess what?
What?
You're about to be surprised. Okay. Are you ready?
Here we go.
You are correct.
No shit.
Yeah, this is actually something that happened in Scotland in 2002.
Is his last name actually Menzies?
It is actually Menzies.
Oh,
yes.
Dear God.
His last name is actually Menzies.
Throw out the whole family. Throw them all away.
Yeah. And this was a BBC News article from Wednesday, Wednesday, 8th of October.
Yes, thank you.
2003.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was a true story. I'm not surprised.
Stories from 2003.
I'm not surprised. That's one of those, it's too stupid for anyone to think up.
Yeah.
I
thought it was interesting because it's you hear a lot about people being obsessed with vampirism, but you don't hear very many cases where it stems from a movie.
No.
To the point where it ends in murder.
It usually comes from, reading too much historical mythology or like I said, or something like that. And you just slowly become obsessed with this idea and eventually you convince yourself.
Yeah, but it typically doesn't lead to murder, with the exception of like the one that you talked about. And I'm sure there are others, but typically most vampirism, when people really think that they are vampires or other people are vampires, it's a consensual blood sharing thing.
Right. Yeah, it's weird as hell.
It usually culminate in murder. Well, I mean, you do you. If that's what you're into, and you're not hurting anybody or yourself, cool.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but when it progresses to murder, no.
No, definitely not.
Can't be taking other people's lives. That's not cool, man. That's not cool.
I mean, no, it's not cool. Don't be going around killing people. No. It's not cool.
Not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it.
No, don't do it. Don't you do it now.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm making light of mental health issues, because I'm not. It is a real thing, and you're not alone. Get help. There are
absolutely
multiple ways to get help. And it's just, mental health is just as important, if not more so, than physical health.
Exactly.
So,
all right, everybody. Well, that's our story for tonight, today, this morning, whatever you are listening to this. If you like that story, then why not give us a like or subscribe or whatever you want to do. If you would like to give us a little bit of monetary support, totally up to you. You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want to, you can run on over to our shop where we've got all kinds of really cool merch for the show. We've got serial killer stuff. We've got horror stuff. We've got comic book stuff. We've got Pyxie's t-shirts. We got my t-shirts, all that other good stuff. So if you'd like to help us out with that, because, power bill gets expensive after a minute.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. But especially right now during the summer in Florida. Oof,
oh my goodness. Yeah.
But anyway, thank you all for listening. We really appreciate you all being here and giving us your time and listening to these weird stories that we love to tell each other for some reason. But all right, everybody, thanks for listening, and until next episode,
keep it real.
So, hey, this is Top. If you could maybe like this and either subscribe or follow us, that would be absolutely amazing. Okay, bye. Bork, bork.